Hello, and welcome to America's Voice News. Thank you for tuning in to our stream today. We are Fearless LA, a church located in downtown Los Angeles, and we hope today's stream blesses you, that you and your loved ones are staying safe, and if you need any prayer, the number is listed below. Hope you enjoy.
He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty.
You can't quarantine the church. You can't tell the church to stop being the church. We're the church. We're a living organism. We're not defined by walls. We're not defined by a Sunday gathering. We are every single day, every single second. We are God's institution on this planet.
Hello, Fearless family. Here's to another awesome Sunday ahead. My name is Christy Johnson. This is my husband, Jeremy Johnson. And whether it's your first time or you come every Sunday and watch online, we want to welcome you today. You're in for something awesome. It's going to be a great day.
Welcome, welcome, welcome from all over the world, all over the planet. Some of you are in quarantine, some of you aren't. We're a little jealous of that. All the states and the places getting out. We are in Los Angeles and we are trapped in a loft with 3 kids.
Yeah.
So this should be interesting. At any moment we could get interrupted. Nope, we've tied them all down. We got them all duct taped.
Tape down.
Yeah, hey, we're so excited that you're here today. We actually came up with a whole new way that we're going to do this today. We have all of our leaders gathering with us in a Zoom type moment with our new screen in our new building. And so it's going to be an awesome encounter with God. And we pray that the whole moment today, stay tuned the whole time. We see people watch all different times, but I'm just encouraging you today, take this moment of your day and give it to the Lord. Whatever moment you have, put down the phone, put down the computer, turn off the news, do whatever you got to do to put everything aside right now, to tune in, to lean in. God has something special for you today.
I'll keep on praising you. I'll keep on dancing, I'll keep on singing, I'll keep on breaking through. I keep on dancing, I keep on singing, I keep on praising you. I keep on dancing, I keep on singing, I keep on breaking through. And I feel like dancing, I feel like praising you. 'Cause I know this is my breakthrough. I'm gonna see you move. And I feel like dancing, I feel like praising you. 'Cause I know this is my breakthrough. I'm gonna see you. One more time, let's go. This is my breakthrough. This is my breakthrough. I'm gonna break through.
Hey Fearless, thank you so much for watching with us today. Hey, if you're new, we would love to welcome you to this Fearless family. So be sure to text Fearless down below to our Fearless number. Also, we would love to tell you about our weekly Zoom parties happening every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. This is a chance for us to join together an online community as a big Fearless family. We go over a devotional from the previous Sunday sermon and just get to join each other in family. It's incredible. So to get all the information about our weekly Zoom parties, head on over to our website. You will have everything you need over there. Church, we are so excited for this sermon coming up, preached by our very own Pastor Jeremy. So be sure to get your notes out, get engaged. Let's go.
I'm calling this the mess in progress. The mess in progress. That's what I'm calling this tonight. I feel like God has a word for you tonight, that you are progressing, you are moving forward, but in every progress, there is always a mess. The mess in progress. Come on, say it with me one time. Ready? 1, 2, 3. The mess in progress. Come on, say it with me. The mess in progress. There we go. The mess in progress. There is anybody on the screen felt like they've been living in a mess? They've been going through a mess. In fact, just every once in a while, we clean up our mess. And we clean up one part of the mess in our house, and then there's another mess in our house, and it just feels like chaos all the time. If I'll give you a shout out right now, if you are in a home with children under 5 or under 10, a shout out right now from the Johnsons. You are amazing, and you are killing it in your realm. And if you know what I'm talking about, there's a mess at all times. There's a mess at all times. And I think just something I've learned from the history of being alive and being a pastor and doing what we do, that as we progress, if we're going to be pioneers, there will always be a mess that follows or precedes our progress. By my house, there's building and construction still going on, even though we're in the COVID-19. Construction is still at its all-time high. I mean, even more than before. And so every day, my car that is on top of a roof next to this big construction zone. There's a giant. There was a building there, and they tore down the building. While they were tearing down the building, they had all these guys out there with trucks and water and hoses, and they were wetting down the entire building the whole time. And the dust that was flying up. In fact, to this day, the dust that is still on my car from that construction, I almost can't get it off. That they are progressing, but in the progress, they're creating a mess. If you've ever built something, we built a tree house in our house. Crazy, because we live in a loft. Obviously, you know that. And we had no rooms. And so to make this work, we came up with this idea that we would build a whole treehouse. And so when we first set out to do it, we got our plans and we got our whole blueprints down, and we got a guy from our church that was a builder, and we got a few others that weren't, but just knew how to use a hammer. And we all got together and we said, we're going to build this treehouse for Brave and Lyric. And so every day they would come over, and what ended up happening is I had one of those demonic neighbors. I don't know if anybody has ever had a demonic neighbor, but I had a demonic neighbor that just didn't like me for whatever reason. They just hated me, and so anything I do, they would complain, or they would tell the landlords or whatever. And so what we found out, we had this all set out how fast we would build this. We would build through the night. We would, all day long. We could get this done in a week's time. Well, we found out from my neighbor that at 3 o'clock you could no longer build in our apartment after 3 o'clock. And so that neighbor, obviously being the good neighbor that they were, would tell on us. If it was 3:01, the guy was knocking at our door trying to give us a fine or whatnot. And so it pushed the project back about a month's time by only being able to build in that little time. And I learned something about progress that day. I learned that if you're gonna progress inside of your home, if you're going to add on, you're going to build, you're going to construct, you're going to reframe, you're going to do something that's worth doing, that while you live, you might have to, for a moment, live in a mess. That there is a mess in progress. Every day we had wood and boards and sawdust. I had so much sawdust in our house that I had it in my toothbrush. I had it in my hair. I had it in my ears. I had it in my beard. It was everywhere. It was in my bed. And it was the progress that it took. It was the mess that it took to bring about something that now we look at, and there is no more mess. I almost don't remember the mess. I remember the process. I remember maybe some of the pain or some of the hurdles, but the mess no longer bothers me because now I'm living in the progress of the mess. And I just want to encourage you right now, right where you're at. You may feel like life is a mess right now, and why in the world is God having me walk through this? Why in the world are we on Zoom and can't even be in our building? Why in the world are we walking through what we're walking through? Why am I, God, I'm thankful, Delisha might say, to be pregnant, but I didn't know I was going to have to be pregnant during COVID. I didn't know that this progress that I was praying for, this promise that I was believing for, that I was going to have to do my baby shower online or my announcement through Zoom, or I didn't understand the mess that was coming with this progress. Maybe here's Carlos right here. I know you told me the other day in our group, you said, man, I just didn't know how much God was going to grow me. I thought of the fun. I thought of the excitement. I thought of the little Jordans that I was going to buy. I was excited about some of the things that were coming, but I didn't know the process and the mess that was going to come, that I was going to have to resuscitate my own child. If you don't know the story, Carlos has a beautiful little boy, Lorenzo and Amanda, and he has acid reflux. So they found him at one moment in his crib turning blue, and they had to give him CPR. Well, that's happened several times since that moment during COVID, while he's trying to work, while he's trying to be a husband, while they're trying to raise their first child. And so Carlos said, man, I didn't know the journey. I didn't know the weight of this promise. There is a mess in progress. It's not a good place to quit. If you're in a mess, it's not a good place to throw up your hands and say, man, God, where are you? Why am I here? Because if you're in a mess, it's the prerequisite to let me know that there's a promise coming, but it's also the knowledge and the understanding that if you're in a mess, you're also in progress. If you're if your life feels like, if you ever felt like your life is falling apart, welcome to being a dreamer. Because if you're gonna progress, you're gonna create. No one ever progressed without first creating a mess. No one ever built without having sawdust. No one ever built without having a nail or a hammer or the raw tools that didn't look like the thing they were going to have later. No one ever progressed without a mess. The Bible tells us about this woman with the issue of blood. You know that story. I know you probably grew up in Sunday school just like me, or maybe you're new to these stories, and this story might blow you away at what happened. Maybe you're like Robert, and you came into this thing later in life, and it's so good to see your dad in the background. Robert, I know you're in Colorado right now. Shout out to Robert's dad in the background. Hey, Robert's dad. And maybe today, you'd say, I've never heard this story, or maybe you have. Let's lean in for a second. And I want to read you this in Mark, verse number 21, 5:21. It says, when Jesus had again crossed over by boat to the other side of the large lake, a large crowd gathered around him. While he was there by the lake, then one of the synagogue rulers named Jairus came. Seeing Jesus, he fell at his feet and he pleaded with him earnestly. He said, my little daughter is dying. Please come and put your hands on her so she will be healed and live. So here's one of the synagogue rulers. Here's one of the Jesus's haters. They've been trying to manipulate and get in on him and catch him in a whatever. And here he comes, and now he's got a problem. And so he knows, I got to find the miracle worker. So he finds Jesus and he says, Jesus, my daughter is dying. A lot like that moment that Carlos went through when his son was turning blue. You imagine those paramedics that came in, rushed into their house. I know that feeling. You will give anything. There's a pleading, there's a begging almost. And this man comes and he says, my daughter, she's dying. And please come and put your hands on her so that she will be healed and live. So Jesus went with him. So the man grabs Jesus. Jesus starts moving with this man. And then this story happens. I don't know if you knew that this story was in the middle, interrupts another story. I don't know if you knew about the woman with the issue of blood. She wasn't actually the main key figure in this story. It was actually a whole nother situation. This man comes and interrupts Jesus and says, my daughter, she's on the verge of death, and I need you to come and lay your hands on him. So Jesus begins to go with this man on this mission to heal his daughter. What a good feeling to have Jesus moving with you, to have Jesus in the process with you. And so this man's got Jesus. He's got all he needs. He's on the way. The healing's coming. Faith is there. Victory is there. Hope is there. And out of nowhere, while Jesus is on his way, the Bible says this, in verse 24, so Jesus went with him. A large crowd followed, and and pressed about him. So they're pressing Jesus on every side. And a woman who was there, who had been subject to bleeding for 12 years. She had this disease where she would bleed, and she couldn't stop bleeding. And the Bible says it was happening for 12 years. Wow, it's a long time. She had suffered a great deal under the care of many doctors and had spent all she had. She gave everything she had, yet instead of getting better, can I get a witness? Instead, she spent all she had, and instead of it getting better, the Bible says she grew worse. I don't know if you've ever had a moment where you were hoping it would get better, so you gave, you believed, you partnered, you took everything and poured it into that thing. And instead of getting better, it grew worse. The Bible says that the woman, for 12 years, she's suffering at the hands of many doctors. Many doctors would have done trials and tests. And you know, these trials and tests, they first do them on rats now because they're so inhumane. You know, back then they didn't have all that. It was just on the person, you know. So test after test. She had a disease that was incurable. In fact, Luke later tells us that her disease was incurable in the Gospel of Luke. And so here's this woman for 12 years. She's got a problem. That's a long time. I mean, we've been in COVID for a month and a half. And so I have a month and a half problem. I don't know if anybody else got the same problem, but I've had a month and a half problem, and I hope that problem doesn't go to 2 months or 12 years. You get what I'm saying. This woman had an ailment in her body that literally drove her from society, drove her from relationships. In fact, if you were a woman with a bleeding problem, In their culture, blood was considered unclean. This is, remember the story of the Good Samaritan? Remember all these different people, the priests passed, all these, you know why they passed? Because the man was bleeding. In their culture, blood was considered something that you couldn't touch. It was almost illegal in their religious state to touch blood. And so here is this woman, she has something about her that not just makes her unclean for a month or a day, but for 12 years, every day she wakes up, she feels dirty, she feels used, she feels ostracized. In fact, if you were a woman that was on your cycle in this way, you could not be with a man in that way. And so many times a woman that would have this kind of thing going on in her body would eventually become divorced and would eventually not be able to have children because of what she was going through. And so who knows, 12 years, that's not a lifetime. So was she already married? We don't know. The story doesn't tell us, but most Jewish women would have gotten married at a young age. And so we can probably assess that this woman probably was married, but because of her pain and because of her situation that could not be healed, even the closest relationships in her life walked out on her. And now her friends, her relationships, no kids, she's alone, she's isolated, and she has this problem. She has this pain, no doctors. It's one thing when you go to the doctor and they give you hope, but even when the people that should be the experts have nothing to help you with. Right now, we're in a situation where the experts can't help us.
You see what's hidden under the surface. You see the beauty under the tarnish. You will find in fire what you call gold. You will find in fire what you can mold. Find me here. Let the weight of your glory bring us back to our knees. Oh God, won't you come with revival? You can start it in me. Find me here in your presence. I'm not leaving the same. Let your refining fire purify me again. Let the weight of your glory bring us back to our knees. Oh God, come with revival. You can start it in me. You can start it in me. You can start it in me.
Alright guys, we just got here to Long Beach, to Ronald's house. I'm gonna give him a call, and then we're gonna give him his groceries. So we just delivered to Ronald in Long Beach. It was amazing. We got connected with where the place that he lives has multiple elderly people in there that are also in need of groceries. So we're gonna connect with them for next week, next Friday. We're gonna try and deliver groceries to all of them. All right guys, so we're here at Teresa's house. She's not answering though, so we're gonna give her a few calls and see if we can get in touch with her. So Teresa's not answering. Over here though, we're not gonna leave without giving her groceries, so we're gonna at least go and drop them off at her door and then give her a phone call and leave her a message. Dear Heavenly Father, we just lift up Linda to you right now, God. I just pray that all the stress and anxiety of this whole COVID-19 and
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Okay, yeah. God bless you. Bye-bye. All right, guys, we had an amazing afternoon. We delivered groceries to 3 amazing families. We also gave so many groceries away at our building. Hey, look, if you're in need and you need groceries delivered, or you want to just come pick up groceries at our building, every Friday from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m., we are doing that. So hit us up on Instagram, text the deliver to the Fearless number. We can't wait to see what God can do in your guys' life. And because of all your guys' generosity, we are able to do this every single week. So Fearless family, we thank you so much. Have a blessed day.
Hey church, we want to bring you Fearless in a box. And yes, that is as cool as it sounds like. Inside this box, we want to give you Fearless gear that only you, our Fearless family, is gonna have. Also in the box, we're gonna send over some illustration tools so you can follow along our Sunday sermons with us. The coolest part about Fearless in a Box is that for your first month box order, we are gonna send another box to a person of your choice. A friend, a family member, a coworker, it's up to you and it's on us. To purchase your Fearless in a Box and to get all the information, be sure to text BOX to our Fearless number or click the link down below in the comments. Don't wait, grab your Fearless in a Box today.
I saw Satan fall like lightning. I saw darkness run for cover.
Fearless. I'm Drew, and this is my wife, Allie. And as doctors, we could not be more proud to be a part of the Fearless family. We just wanted to share with you a couple of the amazing things that Fearless has been doing for the community during this pandemic. As you know, Fearless has partnered with the renowned Faith and Flower to deliver hot meals to healthcare providers at a few of our local hospitals that Allie and I both work at.
Yes, thank you guys so much for your generosity. The meals that were provided were able to feed over 200 ER staff at both of our hospitals and really improve the morale. These people are risking their lives to go to work every day. They're wearing masks for 8 to 10 hours and coming home with bruises on their face. And they just feel so much more appreciated after getting those meals. So thank you guys so much. And so by donating masks, you guys will not only keep our healthcare workers safer, but our whole community. And we just can't tell you guys enough how excited we are at the hospitals to receive these masks from our church, to hear that there's churches in the community that care about us. And that's just been so great. And so we just want you guys to continue to stay safe. And thank you guys for staying home. It's working. And we're all going to get through this together.
Fixing our eyes on Jesus, the pioneer and perfecter of faith. For the joy set before him, he endured the cross, scorning its shame, and sat down at the right hand of the throne of God.
Failure should not become a prison house where you're held hostage the rest of your life by your mistakes.
He's not working on the miracle. The miracle happened when he spoke it. Just like the planets formed when he spoke it.
I am convinced that God is going to build this church. He's going to build his church. And what he blesses, the enemy can't destroy.
I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness.
Our faith stands measured not by what we do when heaven falls upon us, but by what we do when hell stands next to us. In order to move into what God has for you, you have to leave something as well. When this woman chose to stretch, she was not just moving forward, she was also letting go. I don't know what God is calling you to let go of in this quarantine. I know for me, He's called me to let go of some of my selfishness. He's called me to let go of how I think it will work out, how I think it will go best. He's calling me to let go of all what I thought I needed and what I thought I had to have. And he's going, come on, I got you in another place. God is calling me when he's pulling me into his presence, when I've been angry or frustrated. Come on, it's hard to get into his presence sometimes because we don't feel worthy to go into his presence. We want to press into God, but we feel like I don't know if you feel it, but I've been sitting on a couch. I'm about 25 pounds overweight. I feel like tired. I feel like I'm not where I used to be. I'm not where I want to be. And I feel like God may be embarrassed of me at times. I don't know if I got a witness or if anybody can relate. But sometimes when I want to press into God, but I'm still carrying all this stuff. Well, let me tell you this. In order to press and stretch forward, you also had to let go. This woman had to let go of what happens to me if. She had to let go of her current identity to grab forth her new identity. She had to let go of I'm dirty, I'm unclean, I'm not worthy. And she said, come on, if you're going to press forward, the only way to press forward, to stretch forward, is to let go. There has to be a let go in the progress. If you think you're going to progress without letting go, you've missed it. There has to be a let go. There's something you're carrying from when you were 5, when you were 10, when you were 25. There's a relationship wound. There's a church hurt. There's a I wished it would have worked out. God didn't answer my prayer, when I asked him to answer in order for you to progress, there is something you have to let go of. Your friends have been telling you, your family's been telling you, everybody can cheer you on, but you have to make the choice. Today, I'm letting go. I want that more than I want to stay here. I'm letting go of who I am and who I was and what I'm defined by, and I'm grabbing a hold of my new identity in Christ. This woman not only pressed forward, she let go of what was behind her, for it was illegal for her to touch the hem of anyone's garment, let alone a rabbi. But in order to step forward, she had to let go of her identity in her pain. You have to let go of your identity from your pain. You have to let go of that identity from being the victim. You have to let go of that identity from, I'm an orphan, I'm left out, they left me, no one picks me, no one's chosen. You have to let go of the identity that you had in that job that you lost, that identity you had in having your bills paid on time, that identity you had and what you served in as the church. You have to let go of that identity to step in. And some of us, that identity is being ripped from us. It's being ripped, and we're still focused on the thing. We keep being focused. We're trying to hold on to it. We're trying to salvage whatever we can. And this woman had to literally let go of being the woman with the issue of blood to the woman who reached out and touched the hem of his garment. Come on, there's a mess in the progress. There's a stretch in the progress. There's a leave in the progress. And there's a stress in the progress. I think most of my life I thought it would just be really awesome to be called. I thought it would be really awesome to receive from God. But here's what happens in the story. Jesus gets touched by everybody, but there is one who pulls something out of him. And he looks to the disciples and he says, hey, who touched me? And Peter kind of gets like a wise guy and he says, well, Jesus, everyone touched you. The whole crowd. I don't know. I don't know what half the time the disciples were just confused at what Jesus was saying. Everyone touched you. And Jesus says, no, someone touched me. And I'm sure the guy who already grabbed Jesus and is trying to get Jesus to his daughter Jairus is like, okay, Jesus, I know you want to figure out who touched you, but like my daughter's dying. We need to hurry this thing up. And Jesus was so moved in the fact that there was someone desperate enough to reach out and grab him that he stopped everything to find her. Here's what I want to tell you. I know we constantly talk about dropping everything to find God. But did you know that God dropped everything to find you? I mean, the world and the stars and the moon and running the universe. And he's constantly going, who touched me? There's a crowd of people right in this room right now. There's a whole screen of people. And right now God is saying, someone's touching me right now. There's someone on this screen that is pulling. You're doing more than listening right. There's someone in this room that's going, man, God, okay, God, I'm stretching right now. God, I know what this pastor's saying. I know what Pastor Jay is saying. He's talking to me. I'm stretching right now. I'm going to touch you. If no one else in this stream, I'm not here just to be an audience, a live studio audience. No, I'm receiving something from you today. I don't care if it's my turn in line. I don't care if you're working on somebody else's miracle. I need you right now. And God is stopping everything right now and he's saying, who touched me? You imagine that moment being her? You're like, I'll just touch him and just kind of get away with it and no one will see and I'll just get my healing and leave and I'll just be blessed and it will be awesome. And so the woman sneaks in, right? She didn't have this whole picture in her head like Jesus is going to stop. She didn't know he could feel his garment. I mean, if you touch someone's jacket, they can't, she's trying to sneak up on, the Bible says she came from behind. So she's sneaking through the crowd. She's ducking around. It's a stress to progress. It would have been stressful for her. And then she just, okay, boom. And all of a sudden she felt healing go in her body and she ran away and she probably hid. She probably hid in the corner. Oh my gosh, I think I'm healed. I touched him and he healed. She didn't think anything was going to happen after that. But leave it to Jesus. Leave it to Jesus to use your pain to change the world. Jesus says, who touched me? He's like, oh God, he felt it. I don't know what to do. I can't say anything. If I say something, they'll kill me. If I say something, they'll stone me. If I speak up, what am I going to do? Who touched me? I don't know. They're all watching me. No one will know. Just walk away. Just walk away. You might die if you mention. He's probably looking for you to beat you down. You probably got someone else's miracle. You shouldn't say anything. You're not worthy of. You imagine the voices that would have came in her head in that moment, and she kind of. Me? Speak up. Me. I touched you. What's your name? Don't worry about it. I don't have a name. And then Jesus comes to the woman. You imagine the stress of that moment? The stress of progress. The stress of that call, the weight, the pressure of being the one who the whole crowd of 10,000 people are now looking at. See, I know you didn't choose to be seen. I know God, you didn't want people to notice you, or you wanted to kind of hide in the crowd. But when God does a miracle in your life, He's going to use it for His glory. He's going to use it for His victory. You don't have a choice anymore, Lazarus, after you've been raised from the dead, to talk about it. You don't have a choice. If God heals you, if He ministers to you, He's going to call upon you. There is a little bit of stress in the progress. Look, when God began to heal me from fear, I didn't want to be a pastor. I just wanted to be healed from fear. He says, okay, now I'm going to use what was a pain to you to help others. Come on.
Everything we want and more. Your love outlasts the greatest of storms. All we need is you. You've captured every part of our hearts. Your arms of peace, they heal every part of us. Jesus, we long for more. All of the earth in all of your goodness, all of your grace. Jesus, we want more.
As you're watching this stream, maybe you're going, I need this Jesus, I need life, I'm at the bottom, I'm empty, I've tried it all, I've done it all, and it's not filled me up. I'm telling you, you can try it all, and He's the only one that can fulfill your heart, fill every void in your life, complete you. He created you. He created you with divine design, with a purpose and a destiny. And maybe today you need Him in your life. You haven't ever invited Him in. Well, it's not too late. You can today. Maybe you've just kind of run a little bit from Him, but you can come back and chase back and come into His arms again today. If that's you, I mean, maybe this message on fear has really struck a chord with you, and you know, we need Him in this crisis. We're experiencing fear, depression, anxiety. People are experiencing suicidal thoughts. I mean, you name it, what's going on. And I can't imagine walking through this life without having my Lord and Savior. He's here to pick you up. He's here to heal your heart. He's here to restore you. He's here to bring you freedom. He did that when He went to the cross for you. He over 2,000 years ago, He went to the cross. He died on the cross for you. And the Bible says 3 days later, He rose from the grave. And isn't that exciting? So we have a God that we serve that is not dead, but He is alive. He's active. And it's not religion, it is a relationship with Him. That's all it is. It's just talking to Him and having that relationship. He wants to walk with you and hold your hand through your everyday life, your everyday struggles. He doesn't come to make bad people good, but He comes to make dead people live. And He is giving you this invitation today to come into His arms and to live again, and to have abundant life, have a good life, have a life fulfilled with joy. And doesn't mean struggles won't come, but it means God's gonna be there to help you through it. So if you need that today, why don't you say this prayer with me? All over, let's say this prayer. Dear Jesus, come into my heart, be the Lord and Savior of my life. I believe You died on the cross for me, and You rose again. So I accept that life into my heart today. Forgive me of all sin. Forgive me of my past. I'm ready to walk forward into my destiny, fearlessly, in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. Come on. If you said that prayer, this is the best day of your life. I'm just so excited. Give a thumbs up, give a little emoji if you did say that prayer so a host can connect with you. But we're so excited that you're part of God's family. God bless.
Thank you for watching today's stream. I hope today encouraged you during this time. And for any and all information regarding what we have going on here at Fearless, for sermons, podcasts, music, go to our website at www.fearlessla.com, and we'll see you soon.